So it was supposed to be a quiet offseason, but as we've seen, Howie Roseman is already Howieing. The offseason clearly hasn't even started yet, but he's already made 2 moves. So Gio Giovanni is here. Joey Shake 72 as well. And we're going to have a little offseason free agency preview. And we're going to kind of go position by position, see what the Eagles might or might not do, who might get released. Maybe we'll even throw some trade proposals in there. We'll see what happens. But Joey Shakes, first time on the show, so let's introduce you first. How's it going, man?
Great, man. Been on YouTuber for 2 years, going on 3 now, and I'm excited to meet you, FedQ, Giovanni. I know you, and I'm excited to see what this free agency brings. I didn't think we were going to make a lot of moves, but being in 10.5 over the cap, I know we have to get under that and try to make some moves. So it's going to be fun to see what happens.
Yeah, Gio, what up? First time on the show? Not.
Nah, hell no, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's about the 4th damn time, maybe more than that. But what do I think, man? I don't know, man. I'm already shocked that we got Dan Bennett. I thought we weren't going to do anything. I watched all these other teams. I'm let them chase after Kirk Cousins, see what happens with Drew Brees. See what happens. I'm just going to sit back, kick my feet up. I'm the world champs. You know what I'm saying? Watch these other peasants. Watch the poor get poorer and watch the rich get richer. You feel me? But then I see us trade for Bennett. I'm like, damn, we're really going to make some damn moves. So we'll see what happens. But that's the way I see it.
Yeah, and like I said in the video, you shall not challenge Howie Roseman. You will always make moves. And the thing that the Eagles have to do is make some moves before Wednesday because they have to shed about $10 million in salary. Overthecap.com says $9.8 million. So they have to shed some, and it looks like Vinny Curry might be on the chopping block, Brent Selleck. So you save $5 million with Curry, $4 million with Selleck. And then, maybe you chop say, Chance Warmack or Chris Maragos, whatever. It kind of seems self-explanatory there, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we won't even discuss that. So we're going to get to the nitty-gritty now. So we're going to go position by position, kind of view what the Eagles are going to do. And the first position is quarterback. And here's where we get to the mandatory Nick Foles trade talk. And maybe we won't spend too much time on this because I'm already, killing myself over this shit. So Nick Foles, where's he going to go? Is he going to stay in Philly? What do you think is going to happen with Nicky franchise?
I think Nick Foles is going to stay in Philly. The problem is last year when we trade, with the whole Sam Bradford trade, the problem was that this was, 11 days before the season. Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt. The more time that especially because I called I think the Bills and the Cardinals to be potential trade partners, but the problem is there's so much. We're before the draft. We didn't hit free agency yet, so the more time, the more options teams have on quarterbacks, the less we're going to get for Nick Foles. So I of what they want, like a first round pick, I don't think it's going to happen now. So that's why I think he's staying in Philly. I think it'd probably be better for him to stay because of the whole Carson Wentz injury and to see if he's going to be up for the opener. So,
Gio, what you thinking?
Look, I'm going to elaborate on what he just said, right? How, I think he's going to stay in Philly, okay? Now, if they come knocking with a first-round pick, but a high first-round pick, I might do it. Now, you guys might think I'm crazy, this and that. But as you just said, about the Bills and then Arizona, I think this is what has to happen first. Now, we see the Bills, they're out of the question. I think they're definitely getting up to number 4 with the number 4 or 3.
That trade, with Indianapolis, number 3.
Yeah, they're bouncing up and they're getting damn Josh Allen or somebody.
What?
So they're out. So they're out of the picture. But I think for Nick Foles to get traded, the first quarterback who needs to get signed is Kirk Cousins. Once he gets signed, but whether it's the Vikings, Jets, Broncos, whoever, once he gets signed, then it's going to be the Case Keenum falling. Then Sam Bradford drops. Then Teddy Bridgewater gets signed. And I think, you never know, Arizona could be the one left. And they got the 15th pick. And they're like, damn, there might not be a quarterback by the time we pick. The Bills already jumped up in our spot. The Giants need a quarterback. The Browns, I don't know if they're going to take one. I don't know what's going on there. But the Arizona could be a spot where they get desperate because Kirk Cousins goes to the Vikings. Case Keenum goes to the Broncos. Whoever goes wherever. And they need the damn quarterback. And they could be the one that trades for Nick Foles. So I look at it and I say, you know what, the Bills, I'm kind of happy that they traded up and they're going to get their guy, because now it gives us maybe the 15th overall pick. Arizona has 15th overall pick, right?
Yeah.
That's a damn high pick. Now, look, I know people are going to say, oh, my God, Nick Foles, maybe you can't get rid of him. But, look, he's on a one-year deal. There's no way after this year he's going to re-sign with us. He's hitting free agency. He's either retiring or he's hitting free agency and getting paid big money. His value would never be as high as it is now. And I think if you can get the 15th pick, and Arizona might be so desperate that you can finesse them and be like, look, give us your first overall and maybe like your third. Or, we gave up. And, Howie Roseman knows how to talk. You know what I mean? Sweet talk these guys. Tell them, you know what I mean? Tell them.
Howie, go to Howie, baby.
That's what I'm saying. He could tell them, like, look, Sam Bradford, we gave up Sam Bradford, a guy who's always injured. We gave him to the Vikings for a first and a fourth. We're giving you a Super Bowl MVP. I want a first and a third, or a first and a second, or whatever. Even if it's a first this year and a second next year. And Arizona might be cornered where they have no quarterback. They have no quarterback on the roster. I don't even think they're going to do it. And in my opinion, I do it because I look at it. It takes a little bit off the cap. I seriously think, you guys might think I'm crazy, but I think Nate Sudfeld, I swear to God, I think Nate Sudfeld with Doug Peterson being the coach, okay? Nate Sudfeld been in that quarterback room for over, a year now, year and a half, whatever. He can be successful for a couple games while Wentz is out. I swear to God, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's more mobile than damn Nick Foles. I think he's got more of a laser on the damn ball, okay? And I ain't bashing Nick Foles. The guy won us the Super Bowl, but I'm keeping it realistic. And Nick Foles' success came from Doug Peterson. If Doug Peterson gets, say Wentz can't play the first 4 games, Doug's going to go, okay, I got Nate Sudfeld right here. This kid right here, all right, cool. I got 4 games to show what I can do with him. And then if he does successful, next year we got him to trade and get more damn picks. I'm telling you right now. But nah, as I'm saying, it's almost like the New England Patriots with Matt Castle, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think is going to be good. But Matt Castle, all these quarterbacks who, when they fill in for Brady, they look good because the system or whatever, and then they get traded for high picks. I think Nate Sudfeld can really fill in. But Nick Foles, I would keep him. But if you get offered something, if you get offered, say, that 15th pick, and they offer even a player, like a impact player, I would do it, man. I would move him.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, I think Arizona is the logical destination. Now, I think to get that first-round pick, though, you need to have a couple teams in the mix because you got to get them fighting for it. I know Howie is a boss and he gets what he wants because he's just Howie. He Howies. That's what he does. Yeah. So can he get enough leverage to get that 15th pick? The trade scenario I had on the radio, on Fox Sports Radio, I said pick swap, 32 and 15, a second, and a mid-round pick. That was my trade scenario on the radio. We'll see. I think Nick Foles is staying. I'm kind of in agreement with both of you guys. I don't think they're going to get what they want. But the domino is Kirk Cousins. And the team to watch out for is Minnesota, because if Minnesota can't get Kirk Cousins, then it's going to be Nick Foles because you got the John DeFilippo connection. I think that's where it would go. I don't think he would go to the Jets because the Jets aren't ready to win right now, even though I know they were in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes. But I don't think that would be a good fit for Foles. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do think you can win games with Nate Sudfeld. I don't think he would produce the same way Nick Foles did, but you have a great running game. You have a great offensive line. You have a great defense. All Nate Sudfeld would have to do is just not turn the ball over, and you could win games that way.
And that's basically what Nick Foles did the first couple games.
Yeah, exactly.
And besides the Vikings game in the Super Bowl, he played lights out, balled out. But the Falcons game, no turnovers. He just conservative the game, short. He should have got picked off the one. We know that. It bounced off the Falcons guy's knee. I ain't complaining. Okay, won us the game basically. But Nate Sudfeld is capable of doing that shit, man. He's capable of doing it. I think so.
To add on Nate Sudfeld, you look at him at the Redskins. I actually rewatched some tape of him on the Redskins in the preseason last year. Didn't look good. No pocket presence. Was not accurate. I mean, with this coaching with John DeFilippo, after being in the system and then watching that Cowboys game, the last game of the season, he was very poised. He looked like Wentz in that pocket. No joke. He looked really good in that pocket. And I think he could have scrambled up the middle. He tripped. I think he tripped once. And then receivers dropped a few balls on top of it. Plus, he's not even playing with the first string. He wasn't playing with a lot of the first string guys. But then he had that big scramble. So a lot comes into it. But Nate looked pretty good. I mean, it's one game, but I think there's a lot of upside to him.
All right, so we're going to move on to running back now. LeGarrette Blount is a free agent. Jay Ajayi, a free agent after next season. But the Eagles do have kind of a stable of backs. We'll see what kind of happens. So Blount, I would expect him to walk. We'll see. So the question for you guys is this. It's a loaded running back class. Would you want to re-sign Blount? Would you want to pick up somebody on the free agent market? Or would you want to draft somebody?
Oh, boy. I don't think Blount is coming back. And then you could put Darren Sproles into the mix too, on top of it. But Blount is definitely not coming back. I would probably say draft somebody. It's I know you got a few guys out there right now like Jarrett McKinnon, like a few guys out there you could get, but I don't know what they're going to want. I don't know what their value is. But I mean, for Clement and Jay Ajayi, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Ajayi after next year, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a big question mark because the moves will have to be made next season. And I don't know because I know Pumphrey come up from the practice squad. I don't think he's going to make it anywhere. So I'm iffy on the running back position right now. I think we should probably go draft somebody.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Gio?
Yeah, I would love to bring Blount back. Listen, I don't think he had games. The Chargers game, he was great. Certain games he exploded in. And then there's certain games, even the Super Bowl early on in the game, he's getting tackled with one arm. I mean, this dude is a beast. He's a bull, and you're getting taken down with one arm. I'm like, come on. And then he exploded. I'll give him that, okay? He had a pretty solid postseason, did what he had to do. The reason I hate to lose him is because I look at it and go, look, man, I want to repeat, I wish we could bring the whole band back together and just redo this thing again. Forget bringing in free agents. Forget, we have to bring in all these more talent. We have the talent here. We just won the Super Bowl with them. We could redo it. But Blount, we're already under the cap. He's got to go, Blount, okay? Jay Ajayi, what's he have, 1 year left on his deal?
Yep.
That, I don't know how much he's going to want after next year. Not just that, remember that he has the knee problem. They're saying about the knees. That's why his snaps were limited. When we didn't really know at first, like, why the hell is his snaps limited? Then they realized about his kneecaps and blah, 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 blah. And I look at it and say, look, Blount, he can go. Even though I like for him to stay or whatever, he brings a veteran presence, if you call it that. But he can go. Jay Ajayi might go after this year. I say you draft the guy, say Ronald Jones, out of USC, if I'm saying his name correctly, at 32, because he'll be there probably, especially after he got the hamstring injury on the 40-yard dash. But I'm saying because what happens is if Jay Ajayi does walk and you draft this kid, your backfield is now Ronald Jones, Corey Clement, and who else? It would probably be whoever. But it would be those two.
Ajayi.
Yeah. No. I'm saying after Ajayi leaves next year.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm saying you have Ronald Jones and these two under contract. It would be what? His second year. He'll be 2 years in the contract, Corey Clement, and Ronald Jones will be in his third year or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So, and their contracts would be small. They won't be big numbers or anything like that. So that's the way I look at it. I go, you save money. You could do a rotation. I like Corey Clement a lot, man. I really do like that damn kid, man.
I'm glad you just said that because he's the key to all this. And
he is. Yeah, I think he's a stud, man.
I think he's going to be really, really, really good. And maybe not like Pro Bowl caliber, but he's going to be what you need, especially if they like to use this kind of stable of rotation, kind of like New England does. So he can kind of maybe once Ajayi leaves, maybe he's the leader of that stable. We'll see. Now, I'm interested to see what they do in the draft because, you got Ronald Jones at 32 if you want him, but there are other needs on the roster that I think need to be addressed before running back. So maybe you wait until the mid-rounds and you get somebody like a Royce Freeman or Bo Scarborough because those guys are more like Blount, kind of like, the big bully back, especially a guy like Freeman. I would like Freeman if that's a possibility. So I don't think they go free agency. I don't think they re-sign Blount. I think they draft like a Royce Freeman or Bo Scarborough in the middle rounds. I think that's where they're going with this.
Yeah, I named one guy. This whole running back class is loaded. I still got to do evaluation on that. But I just know one guy that I'm like, I watched him. He reminds me a little bit of like a Jamal Charles, sort of. I would say Ronald Jones. He reminds me of Jamal Charles because I would say McCoy, but he hits the hole harder than McCoy. You know what I mean? He's got that power, that boom, bang, hits it. You know what I mean? McCoy always shifted around, did all this. He would shift and then he would hit it. So I would like to get him, but there's a lot of backs in this class, man. A lot of backs. Yeah. So I like that. But yeah, keep saying what you're saying. I was just saying, I just named one. I named one guy.
I was just
but I agree with you. At 32, there's many other options, man. We need linebackers. We need maybe offensive line, something. But
I was about to just move on to the next position, and that's wide receiver. So Torrey Smith's gone. He's no longer not gone yet. You got to wait till Wednesday until that actually becomes official. That's like the most confusing part about all these trades is that they technically not even happened yet. They've agreed in principle, because if Seattle wants to, they could screw us over and send Michael Bennett to New England because they had the better offer. If you guys read about that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I read about that.
Yeah, so Torrey Smith is gone. How would you guys go about replacing him? Do you go promote within, you draft, or do you go sign somebody?
You entice a wide receiver in free agency, and I have the best free agent wide receiver you can get. And I've been talking about him for the past few weeks. Paul Richardson from Seattle, very low-key free agent, so a little over 700 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know how Russell Wilson, he's just scrambling all over the field and throwing him those deep balls. Mm-hmm. And he's not that one-trick pony wide receiver where, if he's open, he catches the ball and that's it. This guy can get 50-50 balls. He's got great hands. You throw the ball in front of him, he'll one-hand catch. He's done that a few times this year. I think the Eagles have to entice a wide receiver to come here, a deep threat. That's probably the only way of really going about it. That's pretty much what I think about the filling in that spot because you can't really sign anybody the big money. I think on the market, I think Paul Richardson would probably be about $6.3 million, which is like about $1 million more. But you're paying for he's 25 years old, 25 or 26, and he has the stats. Or you can go get a John Brown. See, talk about trades. With Nick Foles to the Cardinals, you can get a John Brown in that deal. John Brown, a deep threat for the Cardinals, had 2 good years. He torched us a few years ago. And you could bring a guy, guys like that. But as of an Allen Robinson or something like that, you're not going to get anybody like that. It's going to be way too many suitors, way too many. So that's what I think about that.
Yep.
And he almost took the words out of my mouth, man. I like Paul Richardson. I like him a lot. You know what I mean? I like his size. I like the way, he attacks the ball midair. He's also could be a deep threat. But John Brown, so I keep saying Ross, but John Brown is a guy. I remember the day we played him, and he torched our asses, okay? And from that day forward, I followed his career. The guy's no joke, man. He could be your deep threat. You know what I mean? He could be your number 2 or whatever, number 3, whatever, but he can get those deep balls. We're missing a deep threat. Aguilar can go deep. Alshon can definitely go deep. But this guy has speed. He's faster than Sean Jackson. You know what I mean? He's got the defensive speed. Now, he's been injured. But in 2015, he did have a 1,000-yard season. Okay, he's been injured for the past 2 years. But I believe that if you have him in a rotation, say with Matt Collins, and if we want to call it a deep ball, we put him out there, bang, he gets it done. I also like people ain't talking about him is Dante Moncrief. He's a free agent. You know what I mean? I seen him catching deep balls. He made some pretty solid catches. I'd like to get him. Now, as far as draft, I like Christian Kirk. Okay, this guy, he's out of Texas A. Not Texas A. Yeah, Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
Man, this kid, man, I'm talking about. I haven't seen a kid like this in terms of like as soon as he catches the ball, his explosiveness reminds me of Odell Beckham. Okay, not like his slants or whatever. I'm talking about as soon as he catches the ball, his yards after the catch, his explosiveness is exactly like Odell Beckham. Man, it's like a carbon copy. I'm watching this kid fly down the field, same number 3 that he wore in college, and I'm like, if he's there at 32 and you get him, I like that. But I do like Matt Collins, who's already there. I do like him. I think he's another big body receiver. You know what I'm saying? Just like an Alshon. Big body receiver. We need some speed, man. We need some speed. I know Aguilar has speed, this and that, but I want someone with over the top. I think if we bring in someone with speed and someone explosiveness, man, it can bring in another dimension to this offense that people haven't already seen. You know what I mean? John Brown, look what Doug Peterson did with Nelson Aguilar. He put gadget plays with him. He did crazy stuff with him. Imagine John Brown. John Brown's faster than Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah.
He would do all time. Even Tavon Austin, he would do crazy stuff with him.
That's where I was going to go. Not that I want
crazy
him.
Stuff.
Not that I want Austin because I think he's an underachiever, but I just have like. But I feel like Doug Peterson would just want that gadget kind of player because that's the way Andy Reid always was. He likes
that's what I'm saying. Like when I heard the Tavon Austin thing, At first, I was like, I don't know. Because, look, Tavon Austin, I followed him once again his whole career. I had high hopes for the damn kid. When we got rid of Deshaun Jackson back in the day, I was saying, yo, trade for him, this and that. And people were like, oh, this and that. But I thought he was always explosive. And then I thought this was the year. I was like, oh, Jeff Fisher held him back. This is the year with, Sean McVay, he can do it. But I think, man, he comes in this system. He could be like Tyreek Hill, man, for the Chiefs. Like Andy Reid, all these gadget plays, deep balls, not as explosive as Tyreek Hill off the bat was a freaking threat, impact. Mm-hmm. But I think he could be that type, man.
So I think bringing in a wide receiver is going to be contingent on what happens with Nigel Bradham, what happens with Patrick Robinson, like that. If they can't bring those guys back, then I think they will sign a free agent. Even Paul Richardson would be kind of cheap, like $6 million. It's cheap, but for the Eagles, it's not really cheap because they don't have any money.
I think John Brown's going to be really cheap.
He might be because I
don't think there's even a market, man.
He's got no value.
He's got no value, dude. I went on his Twitter. His retweets. He's getting like 2 retweets, 3 retweets every time he's got no value at all. We can bring him in for $500,000. Come on in. We'll give you a contract.
I got another name. I got a name. He'd be a depth piece, but Taylor Gabriel, from the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey,
he's a deep guy. He's a speedster. Oh. He was great when Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Then Sarkisian came into town. Hold on, Steve Sarkisian.
That damn thing, yeah.
Steve Sarkisian was backwards tool hat. So he went down in production like 200, 300 yards, something like that. But when he was with Shanahan, he knew how to utilize him. And Gabriel, I think he would be cheap. I'm inclined to go give Matt Collins every opportunity to be the number 2. I think he showed enough in his rookie season that he can maybe do it. He is deceptively fast because he's a long strider. He's not quick, but it takes him to get like 10 to 20 yards to get going. But once he gets going, he gallops because he's a long strider. Mm. And that's how he beats you deep. And that's what we saw on I think it was the Redskins where he had that long touchdown. So that's what I'd be inclined to do. Also remember Shelton Gibson might get more snaps. But I think you would have to add a depth piece because you just lost Marcus Johnson. Well, haven't lost him yet, but you know what I'm talking about. So I think Taylor Gabriel could be an option. And I like Paul Richardson. I like that name if Bradham and Patrick Robinson walk, if they're gone. So because I feel like he blossomed in his third and fourth years. I think his first 2 years he was a little quiet, but he really came on the last 2. And, yeah, that's like an under-the-radar name that not many people are talking about. So there you go.
I know this is random, but since we're talking about, Seattle and the receivers, what the hell ever happened to Chris Matthews? Remember from the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
What happened to that guy? That guy, they signed him out of a Foot Locker store or something. Remember they said, I swear to God, he was working at a Foot Locker. They signed him the week before the Super Bowl, and he balled out. And I was like, this kid might be the next big thing. The same height, almost the same, similar to Paul Richardson, like height. He had big, strong catches. I think Paul Richardson's better. I'm not trying to say he's going to have the same career as him. I'm just wondering what the hell happened to him. Where's he at? Yeah. He's still with Seattle? I don't know where he's at. I'm just spitballing. I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
that came across my head.
All right, we're going to move on to tight ends now. So are we going to agree Trey Burton's gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
He gone.
I would hate to. I would hate to see him go, but yeah.
Yeah, he gone. All right. So what are the Eagles going to do? Brent Selleck, we talked about him potentially moving on. Now, would you bring him back if he's willing to come back on a cheap price? Or you sign somebody or you draft somebody?
I would try to either restructure his contract or, I know the Eagles have talked to a bunch of tight ends especially at the combine, and talked to a bunch of tight ends. They could bring in someone in free agency, probably not the first week, not someone too.
Oh. Joey's still there? I hope we didn't lose him there. Gio, you want to talk about this subject?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, but tight ends. Look, with Trey Burton, with Brent Selleck, once again, it's another guy I would hate to lose. Okay, and the reason I say that, I don't think he's as productive as he used to be.
We got him back.
Okay.
Oh, all right. So you missed that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So no, I said either Brent Selleck's got to restructure his deal. That they got to restructure his deal, or I already know they already talked to at least 6. At the combine, they already talked to 6 tight ends. They really have to draft somebody. I know Billy Brown had a good preseason last year, whatever. But nothing's really promising. But they definitely have to go draft somebody, because even Selleck, not even just getting a big body tight end like Selleck, but at the same time, Brent Selleck did a lot of dirty work, especially last year. He wasn't incorporated to the offense too much. He was doing all the dirty work. He was blocking. He was doing all that type of stuff. So they really need to get someone, do the 2 tight end sets. They need to bring someone in that's got, it's got good hands for blocking, and that's pretty elusive a little bit. But there's already about the rumors too with Martellus Bennett coming to the Eagles and all that stuff, which I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, if
he wants to come for the minimum.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I think. So that's all I can say about that.
Good.
All right.
There's a pattern going. He talks first, then you go, then I go.
Yeah. Now,
don't you see the fucking pattern?
I just wait to get the go. You know what I mean? But as I'm saying, with Brent Selleck, he needs to take a cut. You know what I mean? Don't be wrong. I hate to see him go. Now, I'm not saying I hate to see him go because he's super productive. He's great at blocking, okay? But he hasn't been super productive. But you know why I hate to see him go? Because I was even talking to my friend about this the other day. When is the last time – I ain't going to call him a legend in Philadelphia, but he was a really good player, been here for years. When's the last time a Philadelphia Eagle or any Philadelphia athlete that's been here has able to finish their career in Philadelphia? I look at the Eagles, Reggie White. He went to the damn Packers. I look at Donovan McNabb. He got traded to the Redskins. Brian Dawkins, we let him go. You know what I mean? I think Brent Selleck deserves to finish his career here. And that's why I would try to entice him into retirement. Say, hey, look, same thing with Jason Peters. Because, look, I think Big V man can take over. We can save some money with Jason Peters. We'll get to that later. But as I'm saying, I want these guys to finish their careers here, because I look at them like, these people come to Philly. You guys are, not legends. Well, he's a legend now because he was part of the Super Bowl team. Brent Selleck, I don't care what the hell he did. I don't care if he didn't get one catch in the damn game. Okay? But him not being able to finish his career here, if we cut him, that would suck. But I look at it and I say, Trey Burton, I kind of hate to lose him. I do, man. I always liked Trey Burton. Even from the day we got him and I seen him, I think he's quicker than Zach Ertz. Okay, now I don't think he has the same route running or whatever, but I think he's quicker than Zach Ertz. He's more like versatile. He has really good hands. So I hate to lose him, but we're going to lose him. So I get that. It sucks. It's part of the damn business. But I think if they do draft somebody, I think they were looking at some kid. I can't remember his name. He played for a small school. They were interviewing or whatever. But I looked up his highlights, some of his tape. The kid's phenomenal. He's one of the top blockers. He can catch. And then also I would like to – I don't think he's going to be there at 32, but the tight end from Penn State.
Jasicki.
If you can get him, I'm telling you, that's a Gronk-type kid right there, man. His height, his catching ability, everything. If you can get him and you pair him with Ertz, listen, man, I'm already thinking about repeats already, but it's going to be repeats automatically. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding with you, but yeah, Brent Selleck, I think he should try taking a pay cut and try keeping him here, because I just want him to finish his career here, But if I hope Howie sits him down and tells him straight up, look, if you don't take a pay cut, your ass is out of here. So you're gonna have to drop at least from $4 million to maybe $1 million if you want to finish your career here in Philly. And then he might actually do it. Maybe the type of guy to do it, really. He seems like a down-to-earth guy, Brent Selleck. He seems like a type of guy who, he has his family probably in Philly or wherever, New Jersey or wherever. And he doesn't want to leave. He's been here his whole life, his whole career. So he probably would take a cut. So if he can take a cut, I'll keep him. But I would also still draft a guy.
Yeah.
Definitely still draft a guy, man.
If Selleck's gone, you're going to have to bring in a blocking tight end. That's like the first thing, because Billy Brown was a wide receiver in college, so he's transitioning to play tight end. He doesn't really block yet. Zach Ertz, I know Jason Kelsey said in his speech, the whole Zach Ertz can't block. Well, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. He's not the most adept blocker in the world. So if you bring in a free agent, I'm looking at a guy like a Virgil Green, who was strictly
I like that. That's a speed guy.
Yeah, I think you could bring him in for real cheap if you want to. And the guy that I would draft is the kid from Notre Dame. His name is Durham Smythe. So a lot of these guys in the draft are more pass-catching tight ends. This is one of the guys that can do both. And he's projected to go in like the middle round. So I would consider drafting him strictly for his blocking. And that's where they would have to go, just so you can continue doing those 2 tight end sets. And Virgil Green, I think he would fit. Maybe Owen Wilson, or not Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson. I knew I would do that. Luke Wilson, the Seattle tight end. Bring him in too. But Virgil Green would be a lot cheaper. So Virgil Green would be the guy I would go with if Selleck doesn't come back.
I want to touch on one more thing. He talked about Martellus Bennett. I'm sorry, man. I don't want him the hell here, man. And, when we brought in Michael Bennett, I swear to God, this is before Martellus Bennett even got cut. But I already knew he was going to get cut because he really didn't do a damn thing with the Patriots. He went back to the Patriots.
Yeah.
He started the season. Who the hell was he with? Green Bay or somebody?
Green Bay.
Got cut, went back to the Patriots. I already knew he was going to cut. I knew he wasn't going to do nothing down there. Right away, as soon as we got Martellus Bennett, I thought in my head, I said, wouldn't it be crazy if we got both the Bennett brothers down here? And I'm like, I don't want those son of a bitches running they're going to run the locker room. They're going to do crazy stuff. And Martellus Bennett, when's the last time he's been damn productive? You know what I mean? He had a solid season a couple years ago with the Patriots or whatever, but it wasn't, like, blowing me away. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want him the hell here, man. Draft somebody, get somebody else in here, because I'm already worried about Bennett. I think Bennett's going to be a great player here, Michael Bennett. He bring his brother, and they always say he got locker room issues, this and that. And I'm thinking, well, if you bring his brother in here too, you might have a real serious problem on your hands because now you got 2 of them over here running around, running roughshod. You know what I mean? Calling the shots and shit.
Build through the draft. Because all they're going to be is rentals, and then we're going to keep signing people every year. It's going to be a continuous process over and over again.
So. I like that idea. Draft. Build through the draft, baby. That's what you do. That's how you build winners.
Exactly.
Super Bowl champions.
Hell yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Deep.
Right. Yeah, deep penetration. We'll get to the defensive line. We'll get there. We're almost there. But offensive line. All right, so we're gonna go talk about this unit now. So Gio, you brought up Jason Peters' name.
Yeah.
He would be a tough cut. I'll start with you this time because you seem like you're on the cut Jason Peters bandwagon.
Nah, I'm not on cutting Jason Peters because, like I was saying before,
I guess I misinterpreted where you were.
No. But I was saying that he needs to take a pay cut.
Here's the problem, though. He just signed a new contract. So,
exactly.
So he wanted more money. He got more money, and now we're asking him to take less money. And he just used all that money to fucking put a graffiti on his truck.
And it's tough, man. Like I'm not on the cut him or the trade him, thing. Well, trade him. I mean, if you get a big offer, I might consider it. Okay, but I'm looking at it and I'm going, I would love to see him finish his career here. Okay, just like I said before with Brent Selleck, these guys, Jason Peters is more of a legend than Brent Selleck. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, Jason Peters. Okay, Brent Selleck might be maybe a 7th, 8th ballot or some 10th ballot guy or something, but no disrespect to him. But Jason Peters is definitely going to be in, and I love to see him finish his career. Because I said before, it just sickens me to see these guys. They can't finish their careers here. All the guys, but I think I would love to see him take a pay cut. And the only reason I would cut him is because, man, we need cap. And I look at Big V. Big V filled in, man, and he did his damn thing. You know what I mean? The line was holding the hell up in that damn Super Bowl end of the Vikings against that defensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some times where Nick Foles had all day. He had more time than Carson Wentz had during the season.
You ain't kidding.
He was just standing there all day, pat, and then finally move this way and then
playing patty cakes.
Yeah, pat, move this way, bam, 50 yards. But I don't know. Jason Peters, I'd love to see him finish his career here. We'll see what happens with that. But if he does get cut, I'm not going to be, like, superly surprised. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, like, freaking out and trying to kill myself or anything like that. But I like to see him finish his career here. And I'd love to see him take a pay cut. But like you just said, he just signed a new contract. Then he's buying a damn truck with graffiti all over it. So I don't know what
I just think it's, like, unrealistic to ask for a pay cut because he wanted to get more money, and we gave it to him. So now it's like, now we're coming back to him. All right, now you got to take a pay cut. He's like,
yeah, that's the same way.
And who's going to be the one to ask him? Come on, the bodyguard? Does anybody want to talk to him like that?
That's the same way I feel. But I think about it. When did he get hurt? Was it week 6, week 7? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, something like that. It was the Redskins.
It was kind of early on. Howie Roseman, once he could sit him down and go, look, you got hurt early on, buddy. Listen, I think you're a great player. You got hurt early on. Big V came in. He was rough a little bit, but then automatically he started balling out. If you want to be here, man, you might have to cut down a little bit of your money. We don't have enough money to, and I think Jason Peters is the type of guy where if we came to him and asked for a pay cut, even though he didn't want a new contract, we say, look, we can win more Super Bowls. And, Howie can hype him up and say, look, man, you weren't even in that Super Bowl. You didn't win that Super Bowl. You were part of that season, but you weren't in it. You want to be part of one? You want to win one? We can do it if you take a pay cut right here, and we can get some cap, and we bring in more players. You know what I mean? And I think he would maybe do it, but I don't know.
GMGO.
I'm all over the place, man. I'm all over the place with that stuff, man.
Joey, what do you think the Eagles should do with the offensive line? Is Jason Peters going to be a casualty? Do you want to draft the guy? What do you want to do?
We need the drafts. We need depth. We need to get some guys on this team. We need to at least try to draft somebody. But the one thing that's getting in front of me is that 10.6 cap hit. That hurts. And that's a lot. I mean, we're trying to save right now, and we can't even. I mean, it's only going to take a few moves, which but that cap number is going to make a. I don't know.
The problem is the dead money value. It's
right.
like 6 point something. So if you cut them, you only save like $4 million, and it's almost not even worth it. That's the way I look at it.
But like Joey was just saying, man, like you were saying about the dead cap or whatever. But if you looked at it before you even said dead cap, you just look at it. Like he said, that 10 point whatever is pretty big. We're talking about cutting Torrey Smith because of $5 million, trying to get rid of Vinny Curry because of $5 million. Maybe Brandon Graham, get rid of him because of a couple mil. But this guy has 10. We're down 15 or whatever the hell we are. And if we somehow get traded or do something or cut his thing down a little bit, it'd be better. It's like the highest cap of a guy who could be cut because Fletcher Cox has the highest cap in the team. We ain't cutting him. Definitely not.
Well, but you're not saving as much as Torrey
Smith. Yeah, you're not.
Vinny Curry.
Say you trade him.
The Vinny Curry thing because Curry was $11 million, but you only saved $5 million by cutting him. So it's similar to that in a way, but you save less. But the difference is obviously Jason Peters is going to be a Hall of Famer. It's Jason freaking Peters.
And what about the trade value? I mean, he's 36 years old. How much? I mean, I remember the 49ers the past 2 years trying to trade Joe Staley for a first-round pick. I mean, it was just like, come on, did anyone bite? No.
Yeah, you're not going to get much back for Jason Peters at this point. Not coming off an ACL injury. He's 36, whatever he is now. So, you're not going to get much back in return. So I think he's going to stay. You're going to draft somebody, whether that's with the first-round pick or whoever. But you do have Big V. You kind of know what you have in him. I would still rather have somebody else instead of Big V down the line. But as of right now, he is what he is. It's fine.
Right.
So, all right. Now we're going to move on to the defensive line. And so, deep penetration. Deep. You guys remember that 2 girls, 1 cup video?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Well, now we got 2 girls in 1 cup because Ndamukong Suh just got released. So would you guys even consider it? I mean, he says he's going to play for free, but come on. Like, is this really going to happen? I kind of have my doubts. I don't think he would come here for real cheap.
Yeah, probably on a 1-year deal. I would bring him in. I would.
You would have to come for like $1 million or $2 million. That's it.
It would have to be. It would literally have to be because I even watched NFL Total Access today, and like they just showed clips of him like he was punching people on the field, and then it turns me down. Then I'm like, maybe not. I mean, there's already enough. You're gonna have some personalities on this D line. Michael Bennett's a little bit of one, but Ndamukong Suh is released today, so I don't know if they're gonna bite on it. I don't know what they're going to do, but he's had his troubles on the field. He's cost the team's penalties and hasn't lived up to his contract, and that's going to be a big decision. I mean, if you put the Ndamukong Suh on this D line, he's backing up in the rotation with Fletcher Cox and Timmy Jernigan. You're going to have a problem.
Yeah, he's not starting for Timmy Jernigan because that's a slap in the face if you bring Suh in and you just make Jernigan. So he would be a backup. And would he be cool with that? Probably not.
Yeah, he probably won't.
It's a rotational defense anyway, so it's not really like you have stars. Everyone's putting in the work. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
together.
Gio, what are your thoughts?
I think, man, it's kind of like what he said. You know, I would like to bring Sue in just because it's Ndamukong Suh. You know what I mean? The guy's a monster. The guy's a beast. No one can deny it. He's probably – I think Aaron Donald might be the best defensive tackle in the league. Then it's Cox, and then maybe Sue. Like, they're tied. Sue's kind of fell off, you know, since he signed a big contract in Miami, but he's still a beast.
Yeah. He got it turned into Albert
Haynesworth. So, but I would love to bring him in because I think if you bring him in, I'm not going off. I don't have all the statistics right here on hand. I'm just spitballing. You bring him in, we might have the best defensive line in football NFL history.
Oh.
I'm telling you right now. But I'll tell you what. The reason I wouldn't bring him in is because, just like he said, people are going to be – there might be arguments about the rotation. You know, maybe they favor Sue over Timmy, and that's a slap in the face of Timmy and this and that. And I already think Michael Bennett's already a guy who we're going to have to – this locker room's like a family, okay? That's why we won the Super Bowl. Next man mentality, next man step up. Doug Peterson built a culture here in Philadelphia. You know, and Michael Bennett's a character. Now, there wasn't many characters on this team. Now, we had guys doing the protest thing that, you know, that was easily covered up. But Michael Bennett is you know, he's already as I said before, he's an asshole, but now he's my asshole, okay? And I hope he does good, and I hope he fits in. I hope he finally, I hope he, comes along with our culture. But you bring in Sue with him, that could be like a dream team type situation. It could screw the whole locker room up. I swear to God. You might think I'm crazy saying two players are going to screw the locker room up. But those two guys, man, I'm telling you, I just have a bad feeling about that, man. It could ruin the damn locker room. Guys are going to get in fights. And if we get a losing streak, I don't think it's going to happen, but say a losing streak happens, and then they're questioning this guy gets questioned, and all this shit goes downhill. It's not what we want, man. We're trying to build a dynasty over here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We need everyone to buy in. We can't have egos and all this stuff. They got to hit the door with that, man.
He would literally have to come on the veteran minimum, because they just don't have the money for it. There are other positions that they need to address. Now, it's funny me saying that because they went and acquired Michael Bennett, I just completely unexpectedly, but it happened. But, you bring in Sue now, you need to address other things first. And I don't think he's coming here to play for free. I think he was kind of joking when he was saying that. He wasn't, serious. So I think Eagles fans are going to be disappointed. I don't think this is going to happen. It's just stop talking about it. All right.
Now, I'm asking one thing. One thing, though. Would you agree with me, though? You think it would be a little bit of a locker room disruption if him and Bennett were, because you think something would happen?
Definitely something to keep in mind.
It'd be something a little bit of worried about, I think. I don't think it would happen, but it'd be a little something to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you there. Although I will say this. I think Michael Bennett is getting a little bit too much heat for this because I feel like he's his off the field stuff. That's where he gets weird and strange because he faked the thing with the cops and all that.
Oh, that pissed me off, man.
But on the field, in the locker room, he's actually, from what I've read, he's actually a locker room favorite. The players actually like him. It's just what he does off the field and all that shit. That's the troublesome thing. All right, linebackers now, and this is where this is going to get fun little discussion here because I have a feeling Nigel Bradham's not going to be back, and if he's not back, what do you do at linebacker?
I have a trade scenario.
Okay.
So I'm thinking you trade Vinny Curry, a 6th-round pick, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
you're taking my trade.
That's yours?
Yep. We talked about it pre-show. Me and him talked about it.
Oh.
He blew me away when he said it. I said, wow, that might work. I didn't even think about that.
Holy shit, I can't believe – watch, you're not even going to pick the guy that I'm thinking of.
Quan Alexander? Yep.
Holy shit.
$2 million cap hit, right?
I thought I was the only genius to think of this.
For the first time ever, I'm not the smartest man in the room.
Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead. Bring it up. I cut you off. I'm sorry. But the reason
it's all right.
I was shocked that you thought of that because I thought I was the only one. Go ahead.
No, I think that would be a really good trade. Because you don't want to I think it would have to be in a trade, because we don't trust what's on our team with Najee Good, Joe Walker, just not really working out for us too much. We signed LRB for the year, which it was just a veteran presence, was just has the playoff, the Super Bowl experience. But bringing in a guy like Quan Alexander, I think is only a $2 million cap hit. And if Howie works his magic and gets a nice trade, I could see that happening. It would probably be the best scenario, but but we definitely need to draft a guy, especially this year as well.
Have you said that in a video?
No.
Holy shit! This
have
is
not,
crazy, dude. that was going to be my choice. I've been waiting like the whole freaking time to say
the whole segment set up, man. Before the show came on, we should have talked about this.
Oh my god! I should have said it right in the beginning. Because there's logic behind it. Because look at what the Bucs are doing right now. They just paid Mike Evans. They just paid Cameron Brate. They're gonna have to pay Jameis Winston. Quan Alexander is on the last year of his rookie contract. So it's kind of like the same situation that you saw with Timmy Jernigan. Kind of last year on his rookie deal. You bring him in. He's on his rookie contract for minimum value, and maybe he's the guy you extend and not Jordan Hicks. Because Jordan Hicks is going to be a free agent, and he's always injury prone and hurt. So I would be inclined to do that. Quan Alexander from Tampa Bay, and then you extend him instead of Hicks. Oh my God, Joey!
Sorry, I didn't mean to take your spot.
You're never coming on the show again. You're too smart.
Oh, that would be awesome. That'd be great.
That would be a great trade. I can't believe I thought I was the only one to think of that. I can't believe you thought that. That's awesome. Great.
I looked at every team, but I think the guy from Tennessee. I forgot his name. A guy from Tennessee that was brought up.
Maybe?
Yeah. I was looking at him for a little bit, but
the other reason is his pass coverage skills. That was something that lacked at the end of the season. Nigel Bradham is great in coverage, so if you lose him, you kind of want to bring a guy in that is good in coverage, and he's the guy. He's the guy to go after. So this might be this isn't an unrealistic trade scenario either. This is something that could possibly happen.
Right.
Gio, what you got? Are you going to be able to follow us?
I'll tell you what, man. It's the first time I'm not the smartest man in the room. I'll tell you that. But let me tell you. Look, I would love to do that, man. If they can pull that off, let me tell you something. That kid is a damn stud.
Yes.
If they can get him in here, I'm telling you right now, man. I'm acting like John Gruden up in the Monday night booth, man. I'm almost getting erection just thinking about this guy. I love this. I love this kid. But man, if they could do that, I don't know if they could do it because But then again, I think they can because they got to pay Winston, like you were saying earlier. Yeah. Cameron Brate. They just dropped off a damn brick truck to freaking Mike Evans' house. You know what I mean? But as I'm saying, I would love for that to happen. Jordan Hicks is definitely going to be here. He's definitely going to be our guy or whatever. For now. But I would definitely draft somebody because Jordan Hicks is always hurt. Now, I think Jordan Hicks could definitely be elite. He could be elite when he wants to be. His first season was just phenomenal. And he's always been solid. But that's the thing you were saying about extending, right? The difference between extending Hicks or Alexander, if we did get him in a trade, Hicks will probably come cheaper because of all of his damn injuries. He hasn't been on the field. I think Alexander's going to get freaking paid, man.
He might be cheaper, but it's not worth it. And you trust him to stay healthy. Yeah. That's the thing. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be because they're cash strapped for next offseason too, and that's why I think J.J. is going to be gone because are you going to really want to pay him? You got Ronald Darby. We'll get to the cornerbacks. We'll get to that in a second. The other name I got. I'm looking at veterans that might sign for cheap, kind of like Chris Long last year. Derek Johnson.
Oh, no, I think I was going to say Keith Lee. Sorry, never mind. Or Johnson, yeah.
Who did you think I was going to say? I got a couple names.
No, I thought you were going to say the freaking what's his name? The freaking the guy the Chiefs just cut. No, the guy the Chiefs just cut. Tom
Ali. Well, he's more of an edge.
Edge guy. That's what I'm saying. No, because if I don't know. I'm just thinking about blabbing on about freaking names, man.
Well, I got Derek Johnson. I think you bring him in for a year, and you kind of rotate him into the fold because I don't think he can play 16 games and 100% of the snaps anymore. I think he's like 34, 35, might even be older than that.
Oof.
Yes, but he's always been good in coverage because he's plays instinctually, and I think you can bring him in for cheap. You be like, hey, Derek, you want part of the dynasty? You want in? Maybe you bring him in for cheap. I'm talking like 1 year, like $2 million.
If you can get him for that, man, I would definitely do that, man.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be willing to do that. Like it's all contingent on if he'd be willing to take a cheap deal, and maybe that's all he's worth at this point in his career. So I'm looking at a guy like that, like Brian Cushing, maybe. Like
is Zach Brown a free agent or not? Dude was off the damn Chiefs, off the Redskins.
Not sure. Hold on. I
thought it was. I don't know.
I'll pull up a list right now.
Yeah. Or did he play outside for them? I know he played inside, I think, for the Bills or somebody.
Yeah, Bills,
He's a stud, man. I like that kid.
I know who is a free speaking of the Bills, Preston Brown is a free agent.
Yeah, I seen that.
But like he's too much. I got another one, Jarrell Freeman, if he'd be willing to come for cheap.
I'll take him. I mean, our linebacking core is so damn terrible, man. I'll take him.
Yeah. I don't see Zach Brown anywhere. If he is a free agent, though, I mean, I don't think we have the money. Oh,
yeah, we probably
now I got ads coming up. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, so that's that. Linebackers. I don't think they bring back Bradham. The guy that I really like, Leighton Vander Esch from Boise State. I want him. Problem is he lit up the combine, and now he's like they're talking about him going in the first round instead of the second round. So now it's like if you do have a scenario where Nick Foles is traded, you may have to move up. And that's why I brought up the Arizona pick swap thing. That was literally my trade scenario on the radio. I had like a little 10-minute bit where I ran down all the teams. The two potential landing spots were Buffalo and Arizona. And then with Arizona, because I think it's going to be a lot tougher to get a first-round pick than people think it is. Like our fan base is overvaluing the fuck out of Nick Foles.
Foles, yeah.
Yeah, like multiple first-round picks. I just don't think that's a possibility. So you'd be lucky to get one first for him. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you can't play the leverage game and you do want to trade Nick Foles, maybe you do like a pick swap because at 15 you can get your Leighton Vander Esch or somebody like Tremaine Edmonds might even fall to you at number 15. You never know. So that's why, I'd bring that up. But at the end of the day, we talked about it earlier, we don't think Foles going anywhere. So
we forgot to talk about Michael Kendricks.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's staying, so I didn't even think about it.
Okay, because he wanted out last year. I know, he did really well this year, but from preseason all the way to the end of the year. So I don't know. He's a $4.3 million in savings. If you trade him or release him, whatever. But
that's what I was thinking. Say you bounce him out, and then you bring in the guy the Chiefs just cut. Keith Lee, Tomahawk Lee. You get him and Keith Lee's names mixed up, man. You know what I mean? Say you bounce him out and bring him in on a veteran minimum. That's what I was thinking.
Possible, but I think I feel like they need like a true like thumper, an inside backer more than like a Tamba Ali because he's more of an edge guy. I don't think he really fits, And if you get rid of Kendricks, I mean, if you get Quan Alexander, all of a sudden the conversation changes a little bit,
right?
Because Kendricks, you got the 4-point whatever hit, and I think. Here, I don't know how this is going to come off, but like I feel like he's better off being the nickel guy, like coming in sporadically, because there's a limited skill set to him. He's a blitzer. That's what he does best, and he's not the best in coverage. And we saw that get exploited as when Jordan Hicks went down, because when it was Bradham and Kendricks out there. Struggled a little bit. Wasn't as good as earlier on the season. So they were kind of hiding his weaknesses earlier on. And, so that's kind of my thoughts there. But, yeah, Kendricks could be a possibility if somebody's brought in, if Bradham if he comes back. It's all contingent on a couple scenarios.
Right.
So, but I'm glad you brought him up. Covering all bases. Here
Got it.
Joey Shakes, smartest man in the room today. There you go. All right, let's move on to the secondary. So now the Eagles kind of have an influx of corners. we'll see if Patrick Robinson gets re-signed. It seems like that's a priority for the team. Do you think he does come back?
Yeah, we're not in the market for free agent corners, or we're kind of done with that for a while. But this pass rush has been because of how these corners have done so well, and Patrick Robinson being a first round bust, with this, all I had him really one good year with the Saints, then going to the Chargers, the Colts, and then I think I don't know. They were supposed to, I guess, get something done before tampering happened, before the tampering started at 12. So I thought it was supposed to be done before that, but it didn't get done. So I don't know if he's coming back. So
somebody would probably overpay for him. I like him for the nickel spot because there's like Eagles fans are making assumptions that they could just plug in a guy like a Jalen Mills or a Ronald Darby. It doesn't work like that. I mean, remember DRC? They had Nnamdi Asomugha, Asante Samuel, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. They tried putting him in the slot, and it didn't work out. A guy like Jalen Mills, I don't know if he's quick enough in the slot for that type of role. And that's why I think Patrick Robinson had a career year, because he's more fit for the slot. And he was drafted in the first round, and as a first-round draft pick, well, you're going to play outside because you got drafted in the first round for a reason. You're not going to be drafted in the first round for nickel. Right. So he was out on the outside for all those years. And then in Indianapolis, when he had it was San Diego, when he had his career season, he played nickel, and he was great. And then Indianapolis happened. He got hurt. And then he came to Philly for real, real cheap, and he killed it again as a nickel guy. So that's kind of his specialty. If anybody can play the slot, it's probably Sidney Jones, to be honest with you. I think he could do it. But if you want that stability in the nickel spot, and Robinson would come back on a cheaper deal, like he probably costs like $5 to $6, $7 million a season, something like that. So if they want to do that, okay. But then all of a sudden, I think they're going to trade a corner, and that casualty might be a guy like Ronald Darby. 1 year left. Are they going to really re-sign him? Probably not, because you have Jalen Mills, you have Sidney Jones, and then you would have Patrick Robinson as your nickel. So did you guys agree with that? Would you trade a corner if Robinson comes back?
I'll tell you what, man. Look, I already think, in my opinion, Ronald Darby is the odd man out, man. I already think that he's going to get traded. And I would hate to see it, but then again, I'm like, look, I'm hearing rumors about Patrick Robinson maybe getting re-signed, okay? You do have a Sidney Jones coming off the injury. You did draft him in the second round, but he would have been a top 5 pick if he didn't get hurt, okay? So I don't see him really being a slot guy. He's supposed to be a number 1 damn corner. The way he was – if his draft, if he didn't get hurt, you know what I'm saying? So if they re-sign Patrick Robinson, Ronald Darby is the man out. And I think they do trade him. Mills, I wouldn't – people are saying, well, I'd rather trade Mills than Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby is better than Jalen Mills. I'm like, dude, Jalen Mills has years left on his contract. He's really cheap. Ronald Darby has 1 year left. And say Ronald Darby balls out this season, he's going to want big-time cash, man. Trust me on that. And we're not going to have the money to pay him.
Nope.
So, in my opinion, if you get Patrick Robinson back, plus you just traded for this corner. I don't know who the hell, I see a little bit of it, but you traded for him. It was just a cap dump. You got him for Torrey Smith. Yeah. It was for him for Torrey Smith, whatever. But you got him. I think Ronald Darby is going to get traded. I think for a third-round pick, maybe get your third-round pick back, second-round pick, whatever you can get. I think he's out. If Patrick Robinson comes back, I think he is. Yeah.
Darby came in with this, he had this 4.3 speed, and he did not – watching games, he did not look fast. He didn't – receivers made him turn, made him turn real easily. I don't know. He has a big problem following receivers downfield. He gives a lot of cushion off the receivers, like 10 to 15 yards, 14 yards, something, I've just noticed that with him. And, I don't think the third-round pick was really worth it with him. I know Jalen Mills, Jim Schwartz likes Jalen Mills. Okay, we can all say that, but he's if he gets beat, he doesn't put his head down. He goes back in there and he fights, and he makes plays. I mean, he comes back and makes plays. I got to say, more than what Ronald Darby has done. Not saying that Ronald Darby has done nothing, but I think Ronald Darby would be the man out.
Jalen Mills may be low key better than Ronald Darby. Kind of agree with you there, a little bit. Darby got lit up in the Super Bowl, and he did not have a good game at all. He was hit and miss. He was just really inconsistent all season long. He had his moments, against Dallas. I thought he did really well against Dez Bryant. He did have some of those games, but for the most part, he was inconsistent. I know he was coming off the injury, so that had something to do with it. But the year prior in Buffalo, it was the same thing. He was inconsistent. So ever since his rookie season, he's been inconsistent. And you want to pay top dollar for that? No. You're going to have Sidney Jones. You're going to have Jalen Mills. You're going to have Patrick Robinson if you resign him. So he's going to be the odd man out. And you might as well try to get value for him right now if you can. So I still agree with why they traded for him last year, because there were so many question marks heading into the season. We didn't know that Jalen Mills would be that good. We didn't know that Patrick Robinson would play like that. Mm-mm. So at the time, it was the right move. But, he really didn't produce the way that we thought he would. All right, so the other thing, now there are people, since you brought up Michael Kendricks, I will throw Rodney McLeod's name out there.
I was just about to say that. I had that on my thought. I was waiting for me to come up. Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah, but the thing is if you get rid of Rodney McLeod, Corey Graham's going to be gone because he's a free agent. Jalen Watkins, well, not that he stinks, but whatever. He's not getting tendered. So all of a sudden you only got one safety, and you don't have any money. Well, you would save it with McLeod, but I think he's got a big dead money value. So I wouldn't cut him, but what do you think, Gio?
I was just thinking about this. I was looking this up, you know what I mean? And I looked at a whole lot of scenarios. If you could trade him somehow, I don't know what his cap is, okay? I'm thinking
I'll look it up. You keep talking. Yeah. I'll look it up.
I'm just thinking about clearing up cap. I'm thinking about how the hell can we clear cap? Rodney McLeod has been really solid, okay? But sometimes it seems like he's not even in the game.
Oh, I agree with you there.
It's like I was watching the Super Bowl. I thought he was up in the stands eating a damn hot dog. I didn't know where he was. And besides that, Brandon Cooks, that nice tackle he had, okay? But coming here, he had hypes. I mean, there was hypes. There's people comparing him to Earl Thomas and stuff like that. I was like, wow, we're getting a really good safety here. But there's one thing everyone is forgetting, okay, is this. Jalen Mills, natural position, well, one of them, was safety in college. Mm-hmm. You remember that? And he was better at safety than corner. I think he's a really good corner, Jalen Mills. But I think sometimes in coverage he gets beat or this happens. He doesn't have enough speed to keep up with some of the top flight receivers, right? At safety, I think he'll be even better. I think he's already good at corner. I think he'll be great at safety. So if you get rid of McLeod, say via trade, you put Jalen Mills at safety. You got him paired up with Malcolm Jenkins. Now you got Sidney Jones coming off an injury. You got Roswell Douglas, the other guy you just drafted. Maybe you trade Darby, but you got Woodley. And then you got Patrick Robinson coming back. It's all set up.
All right.
And that's I thought it right away.
I just looked at the cap, and you know what? It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Because, all right.
It's a dream of mine, man. I'm telling you, Jalen Mills at safety, man. I think he'll be even better.
Dude, I didn't even realize how all right, so he's got a big cap number, $8.4 million, but if you trade him, you'd only save $1.2 million. And if you cut him, you would actually have to pay him $800,000 to cut him. So you wouldn't save any money at all. You would actually
never mind, man. I just have a dream.
I have seen people though that want to cut him.
I don't want to cut him. I just have a dream about Jalen Mills at safety, man. I just want to see him at safety. I think he's good corner, but he gets blown off a little bit here and there. But I think at safety he'll be even better, dude. And I would love to see it, but when Ron McLeod around, he ain't gonna see it.
Yeah, Joey, what are you thinking?
No, Rodney McLeod he takes really bad angles. When someone's he takes really, really bad. I mean, Chris Hogan, in the Super Bowl, just burnt him easily. I mean, and Rodney McLeod if he really tried, he's just got really bad coordination, or I don't know what it is, but he takes really bad angles going on the field, making tackles. Yeah, especially last year, he didn't really play that well. He didn't play well last year because he was missing tackles left and right. Most guys, like you have Malcolm Jenkins that went from corner to safety. Guys that move from corner to safety have good coverage skills. Guys that move from safety to corner don't have the best coverage skills. Mm-hmm. That's why when we talk about, even with Malcolm Jenkins, you move somebody to the safety spot, we usually use Malcolm Jenkins to, move all over the field and stuff like that, but we really don't have that right now. But to talk about, Jalen Mills and Darby and all them, even Russell Douglas too. I mean, he went in for Darby and actually didn't. He could have had more picks. He dropped a lot more picks. Looks pretty promising. I mean, just 1 year in the system, being a rookie. So, we'll see what happens. But Giovanni is saying about Jalen Mills going to safety. I already know he played safety at LSU, and he did great. So
yeah, definitely something to like keep in mind in the future. But at the same time, I do like him at cornerback too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's we'll see what happens with Darby. That's like the key to that situation. So there's that. A name to kind of keep in mind for next year is I think Nate Jerry, because of kind of the way that the Eagles played late in the year, where they had 3 safeties on the field at the same time. And he was drafted to be like a linebacker, even though he played safety in college. But it's linebacker / safety. I mean, that's kind of what the role is. And when they had Corey Graham, Malcolm Jenkins, and McLeod on the field at the same time. So maybe Jerry can fill kind of like the Corey Graham role. Or you might even see Daryl Worley fill that role too, because he's a tackler. He's like a long corner. He's like 210 pounds, something like that, 6'1", 6'2". So he's a big guy, but I don't know if Worley can cover the slot because they ask the corners to cover the slot a lot, or the safeties to play the slot. So I don't know if he has that capability, but it's a thought. And Nate Jerry is definitely the guy to keep in mind for next year. So there's that. All right, so we just went an hour plus. I didn't think this show would be this long, but we went a while. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you do a big free agency preview and you go position by position.
I want to add something though before we go, man. It's been on my mind since the show started. It's been on my mind all week. I haven't even said it on Twitter. I haven't said it on YouTube. Nothing. Everyone's been talking about Brandon Graham getting traded and all this and that, right? Mm-hmm. People talk about that, and I hate to see him go. And I don't want to see him get traded, okay? But I really sat back and thought about this, and I thought about it from, say, Howie's perspective, right? We need cap. He has trade value, okay? Also, he's on, I think, was he on last year of his deal, correct?
Yes.
He wants big-time money. I seen him even on the CBS, Comcast Sports, whatever the quick slants. He was talking about, whatever, we'll see what kind of offers, this and that. He wants big-time money. So I started really thinking in my head. I said, man, these trades about Brandon Graham might be right. Why would you bring in a Michael Bennett? Why? Because he has 3 years left on his deal for only $18 million. So that right there already takes care of if you got rid of Brandon Graham. Now, see, people say, well, who's going to take over for this spot? The guy you drafted 14th overall, Derek Barnett. Mm-hmm. And I sat back and thought about it. I said, damn, they're trying to clear cap. I don't want to get rid of Brandon Graham, but he wants money after this year. They can get a draft pick off him. They brought in Michael Bennett for a reason. And I don't believe it's so the rotation. No, it's a guy who is 3 years left on his deal for only $18 million owed, okay? And then you got Derek Barnett, who you drafted 14th overall. So I think in my head, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to freaking say, dog.
I don't think it's far-fetched. Like, I think it's less far-fetched than the Rodney McLeod situation, Like,
that's what I'm saying. People think I'm crazy, but just think of what I just said, though. You brought in this guy, and it was just like, why did you bring him in? It makes our line better. Yeah, but then, okay, he has 3 years left, 18 mil. Brandon Graham's going to get a lot more after this year.
Yeah. It's not as crazy as McLeod, and I've seen a lot of people bring up McLeod. So
yeah.
There you go. Joey, what do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I know he's going to ask for a lot of money, but when Giovanni's talking about with the Michael Bennett signing, he played 37% of the snaps inside, so he could play pretty much anywhere inside and outside. Played over what was it? I think over 700 snaps. I don't know what the rotation is in Seattle, but he played over 700 snaps, over I think 80 hurries. So I mean, he had more hurries than every member of the D line we have right now. And he's very durable. He played through some injury here and there, but I could see why we drafted Derek Barnett, because I was 50-50 on it. I didn't dislike it, I didn't love it, but I was content with it. And now, because of the whole Vinny Curry being gone, I think there was some type of purpose, especially with Derek Barnett getting drafted and now bringing Michael Bennett in with 3 years left. So I could see why. Yeah.
All right, so we literally covered all bases. I don't think we forgot about anybody. So we got it all covered. We went an hour plus, a lot longer than I thought. We'll see if I upload. We recorded this around midnight well, it's now Tuesday because it's past midnight.
Right.
So I don't know if I should upload this now, which will get uploaded around 12:30, 1 o'clock, or why fucking wait till the morning when something's going to happen. I don't know what
I'll say one more thing, though. We touch all bases, but best believe something's going to happen that we didn't even touch bases on. Always happens.
Oh, it's Howie.
There's going to be some crazy deal or something.
That's why I made up that Howieing word. I literally made that word up. It's going to get put in the dictionary. I'm going to make sure it gets put in the dictionary.
Yeah.
This whole hour video is going to be useless. He's going to do a whole 360 opposite of everything we said.
I mean, I'm so scared to wait until tomorrow.
You might have to put it up now, man. I'm telling you because I don't know, man.
All right. Maybe I will put it. It's just so damn late already. Like, we're not going to get any views.
Even setting Michael, trading for Michael Bennett, like we didn't our name wasn't even the trade talks. Like, it's always quiet with us. It's always quiet. Like, the Atlanta Falcons was probably the only name that I saw with Michael Bennett. Like, and it was really strong. And I thought he was really going to go there, but it's like, did we just swoop in, or I don't know what happened, but
Howie Roseman, just Howie. That's it's all about. All right. Any parting words? Well, we'll depart.
Let's go Birds, baby.
Let's go Birds, and let's hopefully this praying something's gonna happen that we're not. Something's gonna happen. So I'm actually excited. I'm really excited. It's free agencies could be kind of like last year. It was crazy because we were like no moves were made. Like Connor borrowing $13 million cap space. We're all flipping out like nothing's happening. Whatever's going on, but with Howie Roseman, you can't doubt the guy, and I have a lot of faith. So.
Let's put it this way. Something's going to happen that's going to make us cam up once again. Let's just put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. We're always camming up. We got Joey Shakes, Gio Giovanni, # I am Carlo. Check both these guys out. Check their YouTube pages. Tremendous work. And I am Adrian Fedku, of course. That deep penetration. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.